Four, three, two, one.
And we are live. It is Monday, and we made it. NBA Finals preview show, 94 Feet of Light. Remember, if you're watching, this is the Scene family. 94 Feet of Light is the Facebook group. I got Germ. I got Trav. MJ listening from somewhere. He'll be checking in possibly later. J Ham. We got a special guest in the building. Hopefully, we're going to have a second guest with us real soon. We got our man G2 in the building. So the reason we have G2 today is G2 called his shot about 6 weeks ago and said the Suns were going to be in the finals. So we had to bring him back on. And our second guest, Coach Barry, on the show did say Milwaukee was going to make the finals. So hopefully Barry be joining us soon. But fellas, Trav, come off mute. You know how we do it, man. It's open conversation. Ham, I'm going to start with you, though. Just some initial quick thoughts. We're going to keep the ball moving, pass it around. Quick thoughts, man. Phoenix versus Milwaukee, we finally got here.
We got here, and it was not what people expected outside of G2 and Coach Barry. And the fact that we are here and we got this series of historical epic proportions. We got a team that's been here, franchise that's been here and hadn't been here in 50 years in the winning spot, and we got one that's never won. History will be made. I'm swinging the rock. Whoever wanted, fired up.
I'm excited. We finally back to the old regular way of playing basketball. No bubble. We got fans, we got lights, we got cameras, we got actions. We got live reports, we got live everything. I'm just excited that we have a normal finals going on. So, Darn, talk to us, man.
I just don't want no narratives this week. I would just like to enjoy basketball narrative free, please. If y'all don't like basketball this week, just do me a solid. Just don't watch. I don't want to hear none of that extras. Just asking, please, for us people who like this, and we about this hoop life, just let us enjoy it, please. Thank you.
Yeah, no narratives. If you got narratives, you can go to the mainstream media with your narratives and have fun with all that. But we not doing narratives here. And speaking of narratives, let's get to my man G2, who bravely called Phoenix in the final 6 weeks ago. G2, real quick, man. And I'm gonna probably put the first question right back to you. What did you see out of Phoenix 8 weeks ago that said, you know what, I'm comfortable, I'm real comfortable and confident with this pick?
Well, I mean, it starts with being familiar with some of the players on the roster. Two in particular. One is Etwan Moore, who's from East Chicago, Indiana, from the region. And then my guy CP3. Everywhere CP3 goes, he changes the locker room. He allows the younger players to have that confidence of having a leader that's behind him. That's a leader, floor general. But everywhere he goes, he makes everyone better. So when you add that dynamic to a core that was already budding with the head coaches they have, I mean, that's just a recipe for success. And I want to say it was around like December, they started to remind me of someone at the collegiate level. And I'm like, they rolling. I'm like, okay, they turning the corner on this. And at the time, the Suns reminded me of Gonzaga at the time. Because how they play. And I'm like, man, they're like eerily similar to Gonzaga at the pro level, though, of how they just play. It's one of those, like, you know who the superstars are, right? You know who are the budding all-stars. You know who the role players are. But amongst themselves, they treat each other the same. If you open, shoot the ball. Hey, if you got to get that hockey assist so we can score, swing it, score. And then the main cog in this, and I mentioned him on the playoff preview, was Ayton. I'm like, nah, he ready. Like, I don't know what's gotten into him. It might be CP3. It might be something else with him. But if you look at how he's played in his playoffs, I don't know, man. I can't even name the last true center that has the numbers that he has, especially the field goal percentage that he's had in the playoffs in at least a decade plus, easy. You might have to go back to a true center, maybe Shaq. Maybe. As far as, I mean, what is he shooting, like 70% from the field?
Mm-hmm.
It's something crazy like that we haven't seen in a while. So you got the rim protector down there. You got Booker. Booker, he's him. You know, we ain't even got to talk about what he's doing. He's doing him. But then you got the Bridges, the Crowders. I made a post about, I think when the playoffs started, about Bridges. I'm like, man, that's Kerry Kittle's 2.0, how he plays. Like, that's just him. And like, it is interesting because he went to Villanova just as well. So they got different. They remind me of Villanova in some facets as well too. So I'm just glad that they made it, and I don't think this finals is going to go too long. I mean, if they're able to impose their will on Milwaukee, this ain't Atlanta. I don't see them being able to bounce back like that. So I'm glad they made it though.
So we're gonna get. I think our man Coach B is gonna be here in a second. But Ham, let me go right to you. Let's kind of get the one narrative let's just kind of get it out the way. Just be done with it. The Giannis injury obviously matters. Obviously, it matters. It doesn't change my prediction, which we'll hold off for the end of the show. But for the Milwaukee, if you have to go into the first 1 or 2 games without Giannis, to me, they've shown the ability to play without him. Like, you know, we have our joke about Uncle Chris, All City 1977, but he is more than capable of carrying the load for them. And we've seen Drew Holiday take a step up on the offensive floor. So, Ham, let's kind of get that out the way first. The Giannis injury, how much impact, if any, does it have?
We talked about it a little bit pre-show. G2 touched on it. It's that element to where their hoopers are allowed to just flourish and go hoop. They're not necessarily playing around one dynamic in the centerpiece in that way. They can just go hoop. And the issue that they face with that is that the dudes on the other side, probably a better collection of hoopers, just overall in general. I made a comment in our inbox this morning. I'm like, yeah, I feel like the hoop heads are like, yo, it's Phoenix. We get Phoenix in like 5, 6, 7 if necessary. It's not that we don't like Milwaukee, but we like what Phoenix just brings in general. Like what G was just talking about with DeAndre Ayton, big shot. You didn't allude to it as well over this playoff. That is Bill Russell 2000.
That's a great comparison.
Same type of build, play the same style of game around the rim, active, unselfish, block shots, rebounds, soft touch, soft touching what Bill Russell had even. And you get it in the small form. But I thought about this even when the playoffs was going. I'm like, for him, and Trae Young in particular, both of them coming out in the same year, same draft, but they had those early exits from the tournament like they had. And they turn that short corner and they get to the level, they get to this spot in the postseason with Trae getting to the conference finals. And then you got Aiden coming up right here. And I saw some cats in the group was like, he going to have a hard time banging with Milwaukee big men. Milwaukee big men ain't banging.
Right.
What is y'all talking with this right. Post play and all this? That's the best post player in the series right there. It's DeAndre Ayton.
Hey, so Jern, let me get to you, Jern. The Giannis, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get it out the way quick. I'm gonna go Jern, Trav. The Giannis injury, how much impact, if any?
I mean, here's my thing, right? I don't have a problem with the aspect of whatever the outcome of this series is. I think it's good for the culture, whichever team wins.
Yeah.
On multiple facets. And I'm gonna say that now. If Milwaukee is to win, and if they find a way to pull this off, it is a perfect time for, like our guy MJ said, where you can stay in your place and with the right team, the right chances, the right circumstance, you can be hoisting the trophy at the end of the year.
Mhm.
Or on the Phoenix side, it shows that the right piece, veteran leadership, and ultimately the better hoopers in this game will always be a part of championship week, aka the NBA Finals. It's good for the culture, whatever way we want to slide it. So rub it up, flip it down, press it together. So I like it either way. The Giannis injury, what it makes interesting for this particular finals is now, my guy DeAndre Ayton, when he backing up the car, he don't got to move as quickly. He can actually back up the car and be nice and guided with it and make sure he just keep his hands up. This is going to be the first series, too, where I actually feel like Giannis is going to go up against a 7-footer who, in the paint, is going to challenge him both ways.
Mhm.
Clint Capella challenged him defensively. The situation with Brooklyn was what it was. So this is the first time we get to see him against the actual 7-footer that is probably going to, when he goes up for that layup or goes up for that dunk, could potentially be a guy that challenges him at the rim. And then on the other end, 7 feet and can consistently block his shot and is mobile enough to do so. So that's what this is going to be interesting for me. I love the matchup. I'm going to swing the ball to my guy, Trav. Murder Mook over Verb 2-1. Go ahead.
We're gonna go, Coach. We're gonna go Trav, and then Coach B is in the building with us. Coach B, we're gonna let you get your camera situation straight. Trav, let's get out the way. The Giannis injury or his health, little impact, a lot of impact. What do you think?
First of all, you luck I ain't got control because you would have been out. Second, what is the timetable? What is it looking like for Giannis to play? Is it probable? Is it questionable?
It's probable he
Day to
could
day.
play. He
Day
could
to
play
day.
tomorrow, realistically, right? He could play. It's
Yeah,
not
I
it's not a
just say day to
situation
day.
where, put it like this, Trav, and the best way to say it, I don't think he gets past game 2 of the finals without Giannis playing.
In the
Right.
biggest of games, you need your biggest guns on the floor. You need them out there. Is it going to be a difference? Yes, it's going to be a difference. It's going to be a difference because you got Brook Lopez and found himself somewhere. Brook done found himself somewhere. So you gonna have Aiden handling Giannis on the outside. I'll see Brook ain't scared to get to go back to Brooklyn. He ain't scared to go back and do that. It's a difference. It's a difference when Giannis is out. When the Giannis is out there, the ball does kind of stay still just a little bit, just a little bit. But when certain people are cooking, he know how to get off of it, and they know how to get them back involved in it also. But at the same time, it's a difference. It's going to be a difference. I want him to be out there, but if he's not, Phoenix better take care of their business. They better take care of their business. So that's how I see it. I just see it that Brooklyn needs everybody on deck.
All right, Coach B is with us. Coach B, the reason Coach B is joining us is because Coach B, and to be fair, a couple folk kind of gave him a little bit of some business about it, but he did pick Milwaukee at the beginning of the playoffs. And when you're right, and we give you your credit. So, Coach B, a couple things we want to get you real quick thoughts on, quick hitter thoughts. Number one, what gave you the confidence to make that pick? Number one. And then transition that into the Giannis injury and its impact.
I think from when I, like in the beginning of the playoffs, first year, what's going on? Giannis has help. Like Giannis has help, and I don't think we all can say enough about the impact that Drew Holiday has had, on Milwaukee, that free agent pickup, and then the All 77 Classic and our guy, Chris Middleton. I just like the way they play together as a backcourt. I mean, for this year, they're arguably the best backcourt, you know, throughout the season, definitely in the playoffs. They're a veteran team, and they were that team. Ham always said it. They were knocking, but they got to show me. And, you know, they've showed us. And then Giannis is Giannis, right? It's unfortunate that he went down with the injury. You know, they have a chemistry. They have a love for each other. They like playing with each other. You don't hear any kind of that, you know, stuff going on in their locker room. That relationships matter. That always helps. I just like them. I just like them. And then with the help, but it's gonna be interesting not having Giannis. But I mean, I think they can beat Phoenix without Giannis in 7. I think they will. I think they'll beat them. Much props to Phoenix getting there. How they got there doesn't matter. They got there. And if you guys ever look back, there's a lot of historians on here, especially him. The team that normally beats LA or even San Antonio out of the playoffs, chances are they make the finals, let alone they might even win it. So, you know, I mean, again, shout out to Phoenix making it. Shout out to Greg, you know, and his pick with Phoenix and what he saw with Phoenix. That's really. I mean, you know, I stick to my guns a lot. I'm a hard sell, and
Yes,
I guess that's the
absolutely.
Taurus in me. I'm stubborn, but I'm a hard sell. But I saw what I saw. I liked it, and I just stuck to it.
All right. So now, just like in court, all the lawyers have gotten their opening statements out the way. You know what I mean?
I got my
so
gavel
now,
ready now. Oh, okay.
so now, everybody off of mute. I'm not pointing at anybody. We're just going to fire away for about the next 35, 40 minutes with thoughts on the finals. So I'm going to start with this one, and then we're just going to kick it around barbershop style, man. This is casual talk. First of all, what I love about this series the most, fellas, is we're going to find out who really like basketball and who don't.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
going to find out now who likes ball and who don't. Who's in this for narratives and hot takes and storylines, and who like to play?
And let me get this.
Go ahead, hand right to it. Let's go.
I was saying, let me get this first little tidbit out the way now. We don't give a shit about ratings.
I don't either.
We don't care nothing about the ratings of it. And Pete, watch the ratings be great.
Yeah.
Watch we have great ratings for this thing. But if
I
we
can see
don't,
that.
so folks on vacation, you know what I'm saying? They're in the islands, they're in Vegas or whatever. But they still might get their hooping watch in, you know, so never know how they go. On the big man side of things, hey, what if we see Frank the Tank make an appearance through this series? I'm just saying they can use Frank. He got the type of skills to match up with the Milwaukee bigs that's really not banging. They play similar. I mean, you know, you never know.
I just need the Harrison twin if Frank don't play. That's how.
Okay.
So I just need.
Judge Jern Brown is in the house today, y'all. I just want to let y'all know that this series should be a smash. There are 6 games of great basketball.
Excellent.
Hey, Mr. Ron, you got to understand that this is getting ready to get serious now. The thing
Who you like, Jerm?
this is a series that is so many things because the wing players are so interesting. Like, we haven't even talked about Cam Johnson yet.
Mm-mm.
And Cam is a very big piece of this team. And the last team that beat this Milwaukee team had Jamison Crowder, Ebenezer III on their team. And he happens to be on Phoenix. And he has been solid this entire. Say what you want about the motion capture shorts and all of the equipment and stuff. It's a lot. It could be overwhelming at times. But
yeah,
you know
man,
what?
Jay Crowder got more equipment on than anybody I know.
But you know what? Listen, it keep him on the floor. That's all we're gonna say.
Hey,
Absolutely.
You know, that man be like, I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you do bounces back to you. That's how that man be on the floor.
if we gonna talk about that, we gotta talk about Penthouse Pat.
Yeah.
Penthouse Pat has showed
Yeah.
up,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna kick it to Barry. Say that other person you just said.
Go ahead, get him in, coach.
My boy, Uncle Bobby, Bobby P.
Crazy Eye Bobby, man. Crazy Eye
My
Bobby
boy.
gonna play some ball, man. I mean,
Southside Bobby Portis.
Hey,
You know,
Bobby,
as we joke about Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
Bobby turned that serious.
sure
He
did.
yeah, he
did.
did. Yeah, he did.
Bobby
Absolutely.
absolutely
That's
turned
right.
that serious.
It looked like he was on an old school episode of Hang Time or something with that. You know what I'm saying? Because
And in the
he
words of,
already
and,
looked like a TNBC character to begin with. So
and in the
he
words of
was-
our infamous MJ, shout out to MJ who couldn't make it. All we need is an opportunity. That man got an opportunity and he cashed in. He
True
cashed
that.
in.
Hey, Bobby Portis has been walking around all year since he been in Milwaukee with the Money in the Bank contract, though, low key.
Oh, and
he
here's
might
the thing,
cash.
right?
He might cash that Judea ham and get that title.
And here's the thing, right? Throughout the season, I don't think Bobby Porter's got no more than 20 minutes a game, and he was giving you 11 and 7 off the bench.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True
I mean, if
that.
that don't tell you anything, get that man some clock and watch what he do.
I'm gonna tell you like this for me though. Is that the coolest part of this one is with Phoenix, you got a black GM that I remember player as a player in college.
Right.
You got a black head coach that I also remember when he was a player in college. To see all of that come full circle as well with what's this year? What 16 for Chris?
Mhm.
Something like that.
All right,
Yeah,
2004.
16. Yeah,
Yeah,
2004.
16.
circle.
16.
That's absurd, man. And then going back to what Big Shot was talking, the concern that Big Shot had that I also had at the beginning of the playoffs when you're talking about Phoenix, the lack of experience.
Mhm.
It didn't matter at all.
No, it didn't.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right. I mean,
What you know something else interesting to say right there, Ham, though? This may be one of them times where we say NCAA tournament success means something too in this. Because when it comes down to it, every game matters.
That's true.
well, this is where I brought up the point about Aiden and Trae Young earlier. Because
Mhm.
they only played that one game. They both were done before the 7 o'clock game their first Thursday. They both were done.
Brady's got the-
So and it's like, yo, but they got here and they got to this they got to this point on their rookie contracts though. So that's dope.
You also look at, and also think you have the flip side of that argument too, where you have two kids. I can call them two young men. I call them kids, and Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson,
Yeah,
who played in a ton of big games in college.
right.
Who Cam Johnson's a 4-year player.
Right.
Mikal Bridges, we know Villanova players. It's a big game every Saturday night in
Yeah.
Philadelphia for Villanova. And
Yeah.
what I thought at the beginning of playoffs, again, when you come out the experience factor, that's tough. But Johnson, Bridges, Aiden, even though he's campaigned, his first time playing in games that actually mean something. And those four have been tremendous through all play. All four of those guys have been really, really good in the playoffs. G2, I'm gonna get you back in, man. Get you a little more airtime for you. What are some things that you looking at? What are some things you looking at as far as whether it's a matchup in the series or a key of some type?
I think this finals. I keep going back to the collegiate comparison, but I think this finals is about to be like one of those old Big Monday, Big East matchups, where it's like check your chin strap, lace them up. On one side, PJ Tucker gonna bring it. He gonna bring it.
Yeah,
Crowder gonna be right there with him. And if they are ever matched up against each other in this finals, just move out the way.
That's
Like,
the Oklahoma drill in the training camp.
Hey, straight up, that's one of them. Like, hey, that's one of them. Hey, stay out of grown folks' business. Leave that alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it's so. What we're seeing, I think, right now in the NBA, like minus your your superstars, so like your legendary type of players, you're starting to see more and more of the impact players in the league right now, or your 3 and 4 year guys coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guys that are skipping college or one and done, they're like legit maxing out in like 3 years now. Like you don't really see like, okay, 3 years ago, who would like, Jerm, this is for you. 3 years ago, who were the top 5 draft picks 3 years ago? Can you name them?
3 years ago, no, because that was 2018, and that was before Tatum.
We just named these dudes. This was Luka. This was Aiden. This was Trey. This was these dudes. That
and
was
Trey
18.
wasn't even a top. Trey was in top 5, wasn't he? He
He
wasn't
was
even
top
top
5.
3.
They swapped him and Luka. So
So they swapped. So you got Luka, Aiden, Trey. Who's the other ones?
Who was because Aiden was number 1. Mo Bamba
Right.
was Mo Bamba number 2, or was he like top 7?
but I think Bagley was 2, wasn't it?
Bagley was 2. Yep, Bagley was
Bagley
2,
was
and then it was
Bagley.
I
Luka.
forgot about him.
See, and then so actually
G2,
G2, no, I cannot. G2, you are correct again, sir. Hey, Judge Joe Brown says,
Next point.
Hey, it's crazy though because we're being fed like the one and done. Hey, I'm an advocate to get your bag, get your money. If you are ready to get your money, if you're not ready to get your money, hone in on your craft so that you have longevity. Like my guy Etwan Moore, Smooth from the region, East Chicago. He did his time at Purdue, proud Boilermaker, and he been in the league.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about this, so Ron may know this. So in Indiana, we got this like Indiana All-Stars, right? Where we play Indiana versus Kentucky All-Stars. This is the first year ever where you have 2 Indiana All-Stars from the same class that are playing in the finals together. Etwan Moore and Jeff T, both class of 2007.
Shout out Jeff T. Hey, Jeff Teague right now.
He's showing
his first. Jeff Teague is first team all. I forgot he was still in his league.
hey,
When
he
hooped.
Yep.
Credit. Yeah. When he showed up the other night on my television, like,
where you come from?
Where you come from?
And you had to remember, Coach Bud won 60 games with Jeff Teague as his point guard, and they got a 1 seed.
Yeah.
That speaks to something though. So we talked about it's so the Bucks and the Suns are polar opposites of each other. Outside of both of them have created a culture that is sustainable for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just named where did Jeff T come from with the coach?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Right,
where Drew Holiday come from?
How many spots has Drew been to? Let's see.
You got Philly, you got New Orleans, and you got
Philly, New Orleans.
All
right, now
he came from UCLA.
And played for Ben Howland.
He was one of the Ben Howland kids.
Yes, he was. Now, so the Bucks head coach, where was he assistant coach at before he got his head coach job?
San Antonio.
Okay, now when Drew Holiday was shipped to Philly, who was in charge in Philly and where he come from?
That was Brown. Brown was from San Antonio. It's a culture.
It's a culture.
What I love about both.
But I think Budenholzer wasn't Budenholzer assistant in Philly at one point, maybe.
He may have been.
He might have been.
But I see where G2 going. Though.
No, but hold on though. But now this is the craziest part about that. We just get on the family tree on the NBA side. Do you know what's the San Antonio family tree on the collegiate side of things?
San Antonio, well, I know
Quinn Snyder was over there.
No.
Are you gonna say Villanova?
Pop got
Michigan State.
Oh, Bryn Ford.
If you look at if you look at the personnel that have been around San Antonio Spurs for the last decade plus, and you look at the last names, just about all of the individuals who, no matter if it's scouting, the G League team that they had, everybody has some type of affiliation with Michigan State. Either it's somebody's son, a former player, or a former coach. They all come from Michigan State.
Mm-hmm. And I think it speaks to both of these two teams. We talked about, we talk about the series. We're going to see how much you like basketball. So you've got two medium-sized cities, medium-sized markets who are not going to be in the race for the max due. Come for agency time. So they have to build it a different way.
Yeah.
And if you look at
you have two cities that honestly could care less about anybody else right now. They don't care about what's going on in LA. They don't care what's going on in New York, Chicago. They don't care. And you have two cities that have pro teams, but how they support their pro teams is more of like a collegiate style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more rabid, a lot more energetic. Yeah, and I think the setting kind of calls for that.
Yes.
Because at one point, when University of Wisconsin, like Party School USA, top party school, something like that.
Absolutely. And at one point in time, you had more people going to Marquette games than the Bucks games. It is what it is.
And anybody who's ever been to Arizona State.
Yes, sir.
That's a girls go wild video.
But if I ever have a child, he or she will never go to Arizona State.
Throw Arizona in there too. They the same.
Yeah. So I love it. As far as the matchup, G2, everything you talk about, the culture of the two cities, the culture of the two teams. I think if Milwaukee wins, I'm pretty sure this will be a second time in 3 years a team with no lottery picks wins the chip.
Oh.
Because I don't think I'm just kind of thinking Milwaukee's roster in my head. Maybe the Lopez twin might have been a lottery.
I think him and Drew both were.
They were.
I don't think Drew was. Drew was like high.
It was. No, he was.
He was like Drew was like 8, 17, 18. He wasn't lottery. Chris Middleton
right here. Give me just.
We put it up right now.
Chris Middleton in the second round.
Chris Middleton was second round. Yeah, Drew was 17.
Drew was 17.
Ooh.
I think Lopez was like 17 too, though.
Yeah, they don't have a bunch of high.
Did Brooke go before Robin or Robin go before Brooke?
Brooke went before Robin.
Brooke definitely.
Here's what I'm asking.
Brooke
That's why
10.
I was making sure, because I remember looking at the stuff the other day when we was doing a couple of things for 94, and I remember one of the Lopez's was like 3 or 4 spots before the other one.
Right.
I know one of them was a lottery pick. You see what I'm saying? That's how I remember one of them was like top 12.
Right.
Bobby Portis was in the 20s. Jeff T was somewhere in the 20s. Brent Forbes, I think, was second round. Project Pat, second round.
Project Pat.
They don't have a bunch. I don't think they have a lottery pick anywhere on that team, which is cool.
Well, Lopez went 10.
And
Giannis was 15, so he just missed a lot. Missed the lottery.
Yeah.
They got one. They got one though.
It's Brooke. Lottery pick.
Lopez.
Yeah, Brooke went 10.
Brooke was 10.
Brooke was okay. Shout out Brooke then.
Man, that's an interesting stat though. I never looked at that. They just got a team of guys that just like, I'm gonna get it out the mud. Like we gon' grind.
Yeah, because that was Toronto a couple years ago, right?
It was.
Toronto had no lottery picks.
I saw something else earlier today too, where this is the first time since 1977 that two teams have had players that have never been in the finals. And I was like, wow.
That was the Blazers Sixers.
So neither team has anyone they have never been in the finals?
Never been in the finals.
Because Jay Crowder was
Besides Jay Crowder.
Yeah, he was
Jay
just there.
Crowder.
Oh, Jay Crowder. Okay.
Jay Crowder.
Well,
Hey, this
still,
you know what's
other
up?
than that, you still got one player.
It's shaping up to be a real good finals though. Like I think the ratings are going to surprise people. I think the level of play is going to surprise people. This is going to be a finals that we're going to remember for a long time.
For a long time.
I got a
And
question.
I'm like Germ. I'm here for the PJ Tucker and Jay Crowder smoke.
Yeah, because
that's gonna be wild.
that one right there actually remind me of that picture of Daryl Dawkins and Maurice Lucas, especially now that you mentioned the 7-7 finals. I was the first thing I was like, yo, they been a jack.
Trav, we're trying to jump in.
Hey, I got a question. Can Milwaukee hold their composure? The reason why I ask, can Milwaukee hold their composure? Because number 3 is going to do the most irritating things to win his championship. He's going to stop in the middle of the floor when a bid comes. He's going to run up under them. He's going to hold your jersey. He's going to push you. He probably bite your ankle.
He gonna do.
He gonna by any means necessary. He's
gonna
do whatever.
He's gonna do whatever it takes to win. Can Milwaukee hold?
I think it depends on who they have guarding him.
Yes, I was going right there, G2. I was going right there. Thank you. Finish out.
He gonna do whatever he need to do to get you to sing that jingle in your head that everybody hates Chris. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen through the entire series. It
is appropriate him being from Winston-Salem because that's like NWA territory.
He's a heel.
Chris Paul is truly Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair. He will do anything.
I got a question for y'all. Here's an interesting question for everybody. Outside of the big 3 for each team, so Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Ayton, obviously Giannis, Drew, and Middleton. Who is the most important player for each one of these teams?
Cam Johnson.
I'm gonna say that's tough. I'm gonna say from on the Milwaukee side, I'm gonna say Project Pat because if the Suns decide, well, depending on how small you want to try to go, you can play him at 4 a little bit, and I think you can give him minutes on a Crowder. You can give him minutes on Cam or Mikal Bridges. He can kind of fluctuate between any of those 3.
Give me crazy eyes.
And you know what I like about Penthouse? What I like about Penthouse is that he down to do anything. I'm talking about he in the middle of it. Great athleticism on him. He will dunk on you.
He will.
He will raise up and punch on you too. Just a tough dude, man. He get after it. I would definitely say him. I'm gonna say both of the Cams on Phoenix. They need both of them.
What you got, MJ?
Oh, what's going on, y'all? I was listening, man.
Stepping into the building.
Hey, this is really compelling.
We got y'all know who he is, man. MJ dropping in, so this has become a 7. And it's a 7-man rotation, like the playoff lineup right now. Only playing 7.
They not
lineup.
Real quick, so, I'm gonna jump you in. Who is the most important other on either side?
You can do both sides.
Or both sides, either one.
Yeah, for Phoenix, it's Jay Crowder because Milwaukee is big. Even without Giannis, they are still big. They're physical. Jay Crowder is going to be playing an undersized 4. He is going to have to make sure that he can make shots consistently and rebound well enough to keep the bigs from not having an advantage in the paint. For Milwaukee's end, I don't know if he's a role player or not. I don't think he's a role player. But Drew Holiday, man, he just plays the game the right way. And Drew Holiday is flexible enough to be able to guard a lot of players that you want to take care of. Obviously, he can guard Devin Booker, but you can also have him guard Chris Paul in ISO situations as well. And he also can get a bucket. He's very paced. He's very under control. People underrate his point guard ability. Like, I've never seen Drew Holiday get sped up in my life. Never seen it. I've never seen Drew Holiday not do what he wanted to do. And he doesn't get enough credit for it. Like, if I was to draw, like, the definition of a hooper that I would want, it would be Drew Holiday. And I'm glad that he's finally getting the opportunity. and getting this just due. Like him or Chris Paul, if they win, this is going to be great for me as a coach anyway, because I'm going to point to both of those players and say, see, you can win playing the right way. See, you don't have to do anything ridiculous that's not really you, like shoot 35-footers or go between the legs to dunk it. You ain't got to do all of that if you just know how to play this game and make winning plays.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Barry. Go ahead, Barry.
I was just gonna say that Drew Holiday point. Like, I've never seen anybody speed him up on both sides of the ball. Like he just does whatever he wants defensively and also offensively. He stays within himself, and it's all about effort with Drew Holiday. Like if he's locked in, you could just forget about it. If he's locked in, he's in control of himself. Forget about it. Yeah. It's gonna be like how he raped Dame Lillard when they swept Portland.
Man, he was like the boogeyman in that one.
Like people forget, he guarded KD tough. Like he guarded KD about as tough as anybody else you could possibly guard. Of course, KD is gonna score, but everybody talk about Pat Beverly's D. Nah, it's Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday.
It's Drew Holiday.
And he's crazy thing about it. He's been like that forever.
Yeah. I'm like Russell. Like what Russell Westbrook say? Pat Beverly used to be doing a bunch of stuff, and y'all think he's playing defense. Drew Holiday is control. Now I'm gonna tell you, I think one of the big advantages here. I'm gonna go G2. I'm gonna go right back to you. One concern I have if I'm a Phoenix fan, and MJ, you just alluded to it, is gonna be on the glass. Where Milwaukee, I think, really kind of put their foot on Atlanta's neck. They just pounded them on the glass the last 3 games. Whether it's offensive rebound, recovering loose ball, defensive rebound. I think the one spot that Phoenix, and this is where Ayton is going to have to really be big, is going to have somebody to kind of control the glass. Let me go G2, John.
All right, so I just want to just pass it around. If you are Bucks coaching staff, do you put PJ Tucker on CP3 or Drew Holiday on CP3?
I'm gonna let Jerm say his point before I get into that. That's a very good question. I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead,
I wouldn't put either on CP3 because guess what? CP3 is coming off a pick and roll anyway, and he is going to punish Brook Lopez. No matter who guards him, it doesn't matter because he's coming around that pick and roll anyway.
It don't even matter.
And he's not 100%.
This is the most fun part of this. When we get into the matchup standpoint of this, Brook Lopez is probably the most important Buck not named Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, or Giannis. Because he's going to be the dude that's going to always get the consistent 25, 30 minutes a game. If you can get Brook to be a force offensively and at least chip in and give you 7 rebounds, you're gonna feel good every night about you being in a position to win. Because 15 from Brook Lopez, whether we want to say it or not, America, I gotta call it America, like Charles be saying, America. It hurts.
Brook hurt.
There's some serious points that hurt, Big Shot.
Brook's last 3 games against the Hawks,
they hurt.
He hurt them.
You want to know what Brook Lopez is? Brook Lopez is the 9 of diamonds that walk.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, you know what? I ain't even mad at you because I like when 9 of diamonds is walking across the table.
Hey,
I'm normally the one pushing.
Motherfucking 9. Hey, it's a bad 9 when it works. But you did not count that book.
Hey, that's when you get all the card talk from Jern.
Not spade players. You did not count that book. You know you didn't count that book.
Hey, you be on there like Lethal Weapon like Danny Glover. Book them. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, and the face on the other team when they throw out that 7 and that 3, and they just looking at each other like, how did this happen? That's Brook Lopez.
You know what about Brook Lopez? The points is fine. The points is fine.
It's the rebounds.
It's not even the rebounds. It's what MJ said earlier as far as that screen and roll action. Is he gonna hold up, or is he gonna be looking like how Mike Bibby was spotting Shaquille O'Neal back in the 90s?
That was 2003.
2003. I was 2003.
2002, 2003. Yeah.
Mike Bibby exposed Shaq because, again, Brook Lopez he doesn't play the player, he plays the spot.
Mhm.
Chris Paul is the king of 15 footers. And he'll sit up there, he will dribble the ball baseline just to get on Brook Lopez.
Just to get to his spot.
You know what I like about Chris Paul? Hey, for those of y'all who don't understand the maestro that he is, every time he gets to his spot, he does something different to create the separation. It might be the behind the back to the step back. It might be a quick between the legs to the step back. It might be a hit and then another hit. Then he might counter to another counter. But it always ends up leading to the a hezzy pull up or a fall away at that elbow. But he always do an extra move just so that you just might think he might go to the basket.
Keep you off balance.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And when he go into his right, the way he turned, he gets square and then he turned his body to avoid the block and still get the joint off. Like, yo, he done perfected the shit out of it.
I like when he come off and he take his hand off the ball, like that and one move.
Yeah.
Take his hand off of it, and he just mess you up, and you all balance. You all.
He do that in transition too.
Yeah.
He'll hit you with that in transition and throw the lob.
Yeah, throw that hot.
And it's just a matter of when you have a handle that tight.
Spinning it to himself.
And when you have a handle that tight, it's like there is no limits as to what I can do because I know I have it on the string.
Wow.
Kids, work on your handle, not the shakes, not the move. Work on your handle.
Let them know,
Get
MJ.
the handle, you get the moves.
You talk about that same thing, MJ, and we talk about a really tight handle. It's not spectacular. Drew Holiday has a really tight handle.
Yeah.
Like Drew Holiday's right to left is as good as anybody in the league going right to left.
That's what I'm saying. He don't get it up
super tight. It's shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
He don't come up above his knee.
Yeah.
And then he got the side when he get to the rim.
MJ, it's funny you mentioned that about CP3. I'm gonna tell a story, then I gotta go. Okay. So going my senior year, getting recruited by Wake Forest, I went there for a camp, right? So this is going to his sophomore year before he's about to leave, right? So we there going through camp, and this is when it was Justin Gray was there. I don't know if y'all remember Justin Gray.
Yeah,
yeah. So we there. One of the guys on the trip with me. So we playing pickup. He gets talking crazy to CP3, right? So I had heard, but didn't really know because this is back in 2000, fall of 2004. Okay. So I seen him on the AAU circuit, but he always played our older teams when I played with SYF or G-Reps or whoever it was, right? This dude said something to him. He looked at him. And he was like, you talking to me? Like, MJ, I've never seen this in my life. We played for the next hour. The next hour, it didn't matter who was in front of him. It didn't matter what you was trying to do. And on top of that, the person that kept talking to him, he made him stay on the court the whole time.
Dang.
And when I'm saying like hitting shots, it's no net ain't moving. He hitting with everything. I'm like, okay, he look different. he look different.
Hey, you told me some part of the story, but not in detail. Didn't he say I ain't gonna miss another shot for the rest of the day?
Didn't miss. MJ didn't miss. I'm like, what? Because my mom went with me. I'm like, did you see that? She was like, yeah, he's good. I was like, oh yeah, that is good. Hey, and ever since then, he been my guy. All my international kids play for him. I send kids to his camp every single year. Like, that's my guy. He's just different. And people say he has the little man syndrome, but I think that what it is he's the closest thing we will probably ever see from a mentality standpoint of not wanting to lose in regards to Isaiah Thomas.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Real.
I don't think we would ever see anything like CP3 again. Because one, like, he's not, I mean, when you look at point guards now, like you see CP's 5'10 and a half, maybe 5'11, maybe on a good day, possibly. Wingspan is that.
Yeah.
And he's not small. But he's so fluid and executing and being such efficient in where he wants to get on the floor. And I don't think people understand, like, NJ, you know this, when it comes to training and kids, I'm like, you're going to be a mid-range killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you, it's the hardest thing to teach, but if you can develop your mid-range, can't nobody guard you.
And it's the shot everybody's giving up on defense. So why not work on the shot that they're going to give you on defense?
Yeah. They've told, because they've told everybody.
Get to your kill spots. Get to them elbows, man. Floaters.
They've told everybody don't shoot it. And so because they've told everybody don't shoot it, ain't nobody defending it. So now.
But go back the last 25 years, the people that are really been those dogs and killers are mid-range assassins.
Mid-range killers. True that.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you like
that's
this
what
from
it
a
is.
psychology standpoint. Forget all of the analytics. From a psychology standpoint, if you guard somebody, you play perfect D, and this man raised up on the 15-footer, and he hits it all net comfortably. In your mind, you like, oh shit, because that's the shot you want to give up. So if he's hitting this and he wants to shoot this, it's a long night. It's a
long same thing with Devin. Devin Booker has against the Lakers. Against Denver, against everybody. Let's be honest.
Everybody.
Devin was killing it too.
Scoring on all three levels, man. He can get to the cup. He can shoot the three, and he's taking advantage.
He dunking on people. Dunking on people. Okay. All right. All right. So
hey, y'all, it's been real, y'all. I gotta go. I appreciate it.
We about to wrap up real quick. So listen. So before we wrap up, we're gonna do some quick predictions. Coach B has said Bucks in 6. Drew is the MVP. I'm going to go Suns in 6. Even though Suns in 6, and I think this becomes Devin Booker. This is another star turn for Devin Booker. Even though I don't think the finals MVP trophy means that much, but I'll go ahead and pick it for you anyway. Give me Suns in 6 and Devin Booker is the finals MVP. Trav, you next.
No, I'm gonna go and let Greg go.
Go ahead, G2. Go ahead.
Okay. Suns in 4. Suns in 4. They gonna get them up out of here, man. I don't. They rolling.
Janitor work. Sweep that shit.
Suns in 4. Hey y'all be easy, man. I'm gonna talk to y'all.
All right.
Trav, back to you.
You know what? I think 77 need a MVP, man. I'm going old folks game, man. I'm going Milwaukee in 6, man. And Chris Middleton get the MVP.
All city for MVP.
All city for MVP.
I like it.
Ham.
Hey man, let me get the Valley and 5 of them Pippins, and let me get the 3 with the MVP.
See them.
Jerm.
I don't know who I want to pick yet, man. I know how to pick battle rapping. Outside of Trav over here, but
I knew he was going to say.
No, but man, I can't go against. It's so hard to go against Giannis or Devin Booker at this stage because I think they're both exceptional for this playoff run. Both of them have been spectacular. Give me the Suns, man. Give me the Suns in 6 with matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all something different. Give me one of the perimeter players between Bridges, Crowder, or Cam Johnson as Finals MVP.
That would kind of go along. Finals MVP sometimes can be a guy that you're not really expecting.
It's gonna take that. I feel like this is gonna be that Iguodala type of situation where whoever guards Giannis and gets that 30 dropped on their head, but then still puts up 15, 5, and 5 or something interesting, is gonna be the Finals MVP.
Hey, let me tell you something. Shout out Andre Iguodala. That was the year I stopped worrying about the Finals MVP.
Yeah, I mean.
It was that year. Like, come on, man. You kidding me? LeBron was getting 38, 9, and 10 on these people. He got okay. Coach B. Coach B, before you take off real quick, brother, go ahead and repeat that prediction that you put in our little group chat here.
I gotta stick with the Bucks. I mean, my Lakers, you know, they're not in it. I call the Lakers and the Bucks. The Suns beat the Lakers, so I got a moral victory there. But I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Bucks and 6, and I'm looking for MVP. I love Drew Holiday. I'm just happy for him. He has I'm a character guy. I'm a culture guy. You don't like Drew Holiday? My papa would say you don't like chicken on Sunday. So Drew Holiday MVP.
It's true. Your pop's not right.
Drew Holiday MVP, Bucks and 6.
And MJ MJ gonna get yours, and then we're gonna do some rapid fire thoughts, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Man, I got the culture in 8.
I appreciate y'all checking out, fellas.
All right, good. All right, B.
Man, I got the culture in 8. Nah, I'm joking. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and get. I'm gonna be real detailed. I'm gonna go Suns in 7. I'm gonna go Chris Paul MVP, but DeAndre Ayton has the better performance throughout the series, and the era of the big man will be ushered in because of that.
Profit.
And there you have it. So we made it to the finals. Seems like this was a long season. I don't know if it was it started late or whatever, but man, we finally made it. We will be here throughout the finals, talking the game. So tune us in, man. 94 Feet of Light. Scene is the family. Facebook group is popping. Follow the page. Notifications on. You never know we're gonna pop up throughout the series. It's Judge Jerm Brown. It's Trav. It's Ham. It's MJ. Shout out Coach B. Shout out G2. Basketball for the people, by the people. We out of here.